I worked night security at a small manufacturing warehouse in upstate New York during the winter of 2021. There were always two guards scheduled overnight. One stayed in the front office, the other did hourly patrols around the building and parking lot. I was the front office guard. The other guy's name was Eric. Eric was quiet. Not rude, not strange, just quiet. He always checked in over the radio exactly on time, every hour, no exceptions. At 1 a.m. he'd say, "Perimeter clear." At 2 a.m., "Perimeter clear." Same tone, same words, every single night. Around mid-January, the weather got bad. Heavy snow, freezing temperatures. One night, Eric didn't radio in at 2 a.m. I waited. At 2:05, I called his name on the radio. No response. At 2:10, I tried again. Still nothing. That had never happened before. I grabbed my jacket and stepped outside to check the cameras first. The exterior cameras showed the parking lot, the loading docks, and the side of the building. Eric wasn't on any of them. Then I noticed something strange. The camera timestamps were off. One of them was running about 3 minutes behind the others. That shouldn't have been possible. As I watched, the delayed camera suddenly updated. Eric appeared on screen, standing still near the loading dock, facing the building, not moving. I radioed him immediately. He responded right away. "Perimeter clear." The words came out flat, too flat. I checked the clock. It was 2:43 a.m. That didn't make sense. I asked him where he was. There was a then. He said, "On my route." I didn't like how long it took him to answer. I watched the camera feed closely. Eric didn't move, not an inch. I told him to head back to the office. Another. Then, "Copy that." He still didn't move. That's when I realized something else. The delayed camera wasn't delayed anymore. It was live, which meant Eric had been standing there, unmoving, for at least several minutes. I left the office and walked toward the loading dock. Snow was falling hard, muffling sound. When I got there, Eric wasn't standing where the camera showed him, but his footprints were. They led up to the wall and stopped. I radioed his name again. This time, his voice came from behind me. "Perimeter clear." I spun around. Eric was standing a few feet away, too close. I hadn't heard him walk up. His face looked wrong. Not injured, not angry, just blank. Like he was exhausted in a way sleep wouldn't fix. I asked him how he got behind me. He didn't answer. Instead, he repeated, "Perimeter clear." Same tone, same words. I backed away and told him to return to the office. He watched me for a moment. Then he turned and walked into the darkness around the building. I didn't follow him. I locked myself in the office and called my supervisor. While I was on the phone, Eric's radio crackled. "Perimeter clear." I checked the clock. 3 a.m., exactly on time. The police arrived around 3:30. They searched the property. They found Eric's jacket near the loading dock, frozen stiff. No footprints leading away from it. The police asked me when I'd last seen him. I told them the truth about the camera, the radio, him standing behind me. One of the officers asked me something I still think about. He asked, "Are you sure you were talking to Eric?" Because Eric had called in sick that night. He never came to work. There was no second guard on shift. And the radio logs showed "perimeter clear" being transmitted every hour from Eric's radio until 6 a.m.